Hello, everybody. Welcome to Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio, the Paranormal and Strange. We're live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York. I'm your host, Roger Belt, along with our other host here, Mr. Hank Stratton.
I love that.
What, you like the Mr. part?
No, just that last part about, and Mr. Hank Stratton. Cool, dude. We got it covered.
We have a good show lined up for you, y'all guys. We got Niagara Paranormal here with Mr. Matt Carr. He's a very interesting young man, and also he has his partner there, Patrick, is in the chat room here. He's not live with us, but Matt, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hi, thank you for having me on. How you doing, Roger, Hank?
Matt, good to have you here, partner.
Oh, thank you.
We're doing just super and looking forward to getting this thing going here.
Me too.
You guys just did an investigation at Iron Island, didn't you?
Yep, actually we were just there this past Saturday night.
Now, you showed me a video, but you didn't show me the video of the actual instance that happened, but I did see a video where you tried to debunk what happened and you was not able to debunk that. You want to kind of explain to everybody what happened?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it was just me and Jeff, another investigator in our group. We were in one room of the museum where supposedly there is a ghost there. His name is Tommy, and it was a kid who had been laid out at the museum, and a lot of people have, gotten, child laughing and Tommy, the name Tommy and stuff like that. So we were just in the back of the room trying to communicate with him, and we were about to take a break. So there's this table at the front of the room, and we had our DVR camera set up on it. So we figured, we're going to go take a break. So we'll set a few things down. So we set down a geophone, just measures vibration and stuff like that. We set that down. And then we had a little train trigger prop, if you get like an inch away from it or so, it makes it go off. And then we also had a ball that was actually, I believe it was a toy from Tommy, before he passed. And we set it on the table, and just as we set it there, and 2 seconds later, I heard our other members coming down the hall. So we turned to go talk to them, and as soon as we turned, the ball just came off the table. And unfortunately, I was kind of partially blocking it, but if you could see just at the tail end, it coming off the table and bouncing on the floor. So,
well, that's amazing. Before we get too involved here, I want to let everybody know that this is anti-bullying month, July here, and cyberbullying is a bunch of crap. I don't condone it. None of my friends condone it. If you're a bully, you're in the wrong place. You need to go somewhere else. So I let everybody know that.
Oh, yep. No, everybody should, there's no reason not to treat everybody with respect. I don't get it. There is a lot of people, out there cyberbullying, and there even is a lot of people in the paranormal community that do that kind of stuff, and I just don't get it. Everybody should work together, whether it be in the paranormal or anything else. You should just respect each other, and if you don't have something nice to say, then why say it at all?
That's true. That is very true. As paranormal investigators, we have a hard enough time, doing what we're trying to do and trying to do this with respect and trying to do this with dignity and show other people, what paranormal investigators really are, We don't need people, trying to downgrade or something, or, you got the ones that think, that they're better than everybody else, and they want to bash you down and try to make you look bad. And that's just, it's wrong, we need to work together, like you said. It's about the unity. It shouldn't be about, the one.
Oh yeah, we're all working towards the same. Well, most of us are working towards the same goal anyway. Trying to capture as much, evidence as we can, showing that there is something out there. And, if we're all going towards the same goal, we should all be able to work together. And there's a lot of egos and a lot of, bad will in the paranormal field sometimes. And I just don't really understand that,
Right. Okay, so we're going to get back into this thing now. And was that the only experience that you guys had that night, or did you have something else that, you want to talk about, or?
Oh, no, we've been there, I think that might have been our fourth time actually being there, and it's awesome, Linda, Hostreiter from, Iron Island is amazing, and Greg Hoffman, he comes in and he really shows you a good tour of the museum, and it's well worth it to anybody who hopes to go there. Even for just a tour, it's awesome. It's just, it's an amazing place. But as far as the paranormal, yeah, every time we go there, there's something. We got the ball. That was kind of like the big part of what we got that night. But there was other things. We've got a bunch of awesome, spirit box sessions in there, and a lot of EVPs, and I'm sure we had a lot of EVPs from there that we don't know yet, because we've just been starting to go through our stuff.
Matt, I've been going through, and I found your website, and I posted it in the chat room at what did I put there? NiagaraParanormal.com.
Yep.
And I went through your evidence, and that's where I had a chance to see what you had going on, both over there at, I'm trying to remember all of it, the general store, and you also did, the Iron Island.
Yep.
Behave, Roger. The reason that we're having so much fun with that in particular is that I'm working on doing an announcement for Iron Island Museum. And coming from, yes, I know, I'm a bloody Yankee. Coming from Michigan, we have in the Upper Peninsula, which is a ski resort, Iron Mountain. So I have to forget that and work on everything else. But anyway, back to the evidence that you have on the website. You guys seem to have had a relatively interesting time, and I'm being euphemistic.
Yeah, oh yeah. We, and that's all it's about. We go, we're a bunch of friends that all love the paranormal, and we find that, there's not a lot of groups out there putting out videos for people to see. And I know if I were, trying to, if I weren't in a group, I would be trying to watch some cool videos and stuff. That's all we try to do. We try to, get good evidence and stuff, and then if there's anything that we don't find to be, 100% credible, we don't put it in our videos. But yeah, no, it's Iron Island is full of awesome experiences. Every time we've been there, it's never let down. We've got a bunch of really cool, like I said, a bunch of really cool spirit box sessions. Most of them were in the basement. We got a lot of cool stuff. We're asking if, cause a lot of the people, well, one of the spirits at Iron Island is, a guy named Edgar, and he was in the military, and as well as there's a few others that were in the military there. And so we were asking, if somebody is with us, were you in the military? And we have gotten a bunch of awesome responses to that. We, like on our one video, we got, we asked if you were in the military, and we got service out of there, and we got, the word service coming out of the spirit box, and people asking, for, a medic. And then this last time we were there, we haven't been able to get the video up yet, but we had some awesome responses too, as well as, like, the word Navy and stuff coming through the spirit box. So it's a cool place. And then, not only the basement, but, they're, all upstairs is awesome too. It's just such a cool place. And not only the paranormal, but like I said, there's so much history there and so many cool things to check out. And it really is awesome. So if you're definitely in the area, that's a really cool place to check out. But, onto the other place, the general store is actually a part of the historic Palmyra Museum, and we went there as well this past Friday. And that was our second time there, and it's the same thing. Awesome place. You know, I mean, there's so much history and so many cool pictures and so many cool pieces of there's so many cool pieces of history they have there. And then the paranormal is really a good place to capture evidence. We've been there, and we've got a lot of our best evidence. We sometimes we use a flashlight, as a means of communication, seeing, if we can get it to turn on, or off, on our questions. And one time we were there, or last time we were there, actually, we were sitting upstairs in the museum area, because when you go there to have an investigation, there's two buildings that that are at your disposal to use, the museum and the general store. And we were upstairs in the museum, and I said, on the count of three, if you could you please turn on the flashlight? So I start counting one, the flashlight, goes on and off. And then I say two, and it goes on and off again, and then three, and it goes on and off, and then it just stays on. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, a lot of people, say that, flashlight sometimes isn't a, reliable piece of evidence and stuff like that. But in that instance, I really thought that it was really cool and something we could really show to, the people who, watch our videos.
That is amazing. I was going to tell you that we have Iron Island here in the chat room. If you guys want to call in and join in and give us a little info on the investigation they did, anything y'all noticed, that's fine. We'd love to have you come on and holler at us. And I was going to say that, as paranormal investigators, a lot of times, with me especially, the history of a place, to me, is just as important as the evidence that you may or may not get. It's kind of like stepping through a portal back in time, and you can see some really amazing stuff. And I've been in places where, furniture was left behind, and I mean, antique stuff. Ain't no telling what the stuff was worth, sitting in a house that's fallen down. And it's just amazing. And you find letters, postmarked, in the 20s, 30s. I mean, it's just amazing. It's like walking through a portal.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Like, that's why, we love Iron Island and Palmyra so much. It's, Iron Island, it was, an old church, and then it was, a couple funeral homes, I believe. And now they have just so much cool stuff, whether it be, they have so much military memorabilia and stuff like that. And, we're big into that. We try to go to, Gettysburg twice a year if we can. And we love all that kind of stuff. And Palmyra too. It's especially like the general store. It was built in like the mid 1800s, and it's still preserved that way and everything. That, never changed it. So it is really awesome. Like, I never thought that, there would be a place like that to go be able to check out. But you go in, and it's literally just walking into the 1800s. It's amazing.
I have a question from Johnny. I don't know if he's able to call in but he's here in the chat, and he asks, how does he feel about the metaphysical side of investigating, like with rods, mediums, and would he use results from that to his clients? In other words, would you give them to your clients in your results?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, we don't have a psychic or anything like that in our group, but we would love one. And I know I know quite a few psychics that are absolutely 100% credible, and I mean, the stuff they do is amazing. But as for us, yeah, we try to use dowsing rods, as much as we can. And I would say that I place like dowsing rods and stuff like that. Not so much like psychics are at a whole different level. The stuff they can do is amazing. But as far as dowsing rods and stuff like that, I mean, I would place anything you catch with that. I mean, from us, we try to be, we don't try to sugarcoat or make anything seem what it isn't. I mean, if we get something, then, it is something. We don't try to fake anything. So if we get something with a cool, thing with our dowsing rods, we place that right up with the stuff we might get from our K2 meters or, anything else like that, our EMF meters. I mean, it's right up there.
While I was watching your video of the help me out, Palmyra?
Yeah, the historic Palmyra Museum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys were going through the... Yeah, I love this area. You were going through the doll section.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, could you elaborate on that? I mean, what did you get out of that? To me, being psychic, dolls. There we go, darling. Dolls just freak me out. It goes back to my great grandmother and the dolls that she had in her attic.
Oh yeah, I mean, no doubt about that. Like, I mean, I don't claim to be, any kind of psychic or anything like that, but you do have feelings sometimes, and I tell you, it is tough sometimes, investigating in an area with that many dolls. I mean, the doll room is bad enough, but then right across the hall from that, there is this big mannequin, and it has a black dress on, and it's sitting in a chair. And sometimes I'll tell you, when you pan over that with your light or something, man, it gets you pretty good.
Dolls are creepy. They just are. I'm sorry, especially if you get one that somebody's poked one of the eyeballs or something, and it's all cocked to one side and looks all weird,
Oh yeah, they have a couple that are from, I believe, like the late 1800s, and I mean their age, and they are pretty creepy. Yep.
It's like clowns, Clowns are just creepy. I'm sorry, they are. You got to think about it though. Why would somebody put this red hair and nose and all this crap on and paint their face all up white, looking like a ghost if they wasn't trying to be creepy? I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just my opinion, but and if you ever watched the movie It, the Stephen King movie It about the clown, and that helped give clowns the creepy name. I'm sorry, it really did. But it's interesting, I watched and I actually did watch the Ghost Adventures episode where they went to the Island of the Dolls. Okay.
You got a call coming in.
We have a caller. Caller, you're online.
Yeah, hi. My name is Greg Hoffman. I'm the tour guide at Iron Island Museum, and I see you got our. Hey, how you doing, guys?
Greg, what's up, man?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you a call real quick, just for a few minutes, and see how it's going over there. I don't have it on computer or anything, but I'm going to try to get the podcast later. Okay?
Oh, major
awesome.
Cool.
So you guys, this camera didn't catch that either, huh?
What's that?
The ball?
Oh, yeah, I got it on Facebook, and I was with the guys up until about midnight, and then I left at midnight and I missed it. So, and I wish I wouldn't have, I wish I would have been there with them when it happened. But,
well, we were hoping that you guys' camera that was in the back might have accidentally caught it, but...
Yeah, well, we still, Linda over there has, cameras, IR cameras in every room, on the ceiling, and we're going to try to review it too. Although the camera was in the back of the room at the time, but maybe it'll catch something on there,
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe that did. I didn't think about that. If you have position cameras like that, it may have just caught it.
Yeah, she knows about it, so she's going to have one of her tech guys, check back on it and see if we caught something, because I know we caught a picture falling off the wall one time, and I'm glad those cameras are up there. But, just calling in to see how the guys are doing and everything, and, and I hope they're doing well, and I know they are, so. But,
thanks,
like I say, I know. Well, I guess you'll be hearing from me too on the 21st. You know, that's what Cindy told me.
We're looking forward to it, Greg.
Yeah, who's that?
This is Hank.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you guys on.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah. Well, it's great, too. I mean, you know, like I say, you know, I've done some interviews before. I never did a phone interview or anything like that, but always the first time for something, you know. But, yeah, these guys are good. I'll tell you what, the guys from NPI, I'm really impressed with them, and I've done just at Iron Island alone about 300 investigations with different groups and people, so I'm really impressed with those guys. But,
Thank you, Greg.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Who is this, Matt?
Yep.
Matt, hey, buddy.
How you doing?
You know, hey, doing good. I'm just chilling out right now at home and stuff and trying to beat the heat a little bit, but, you know, so I'm glad you guys are doing good. I don't want to interfere with you too much, but I thought I'd give you a call and see how you guys are doing and, you know, and just, you know, just jabber a little bit, so.
Well, it's good to have you here, Greg.
Pardon?
It's good to have you here, Greg. And I get a chance to meet you at the same time.
Oh, yeah, same here, you know, because, you know, I'm a Facebook friend with Cindy's for quite a while and that, and Cindy and I, you know, we talk a lot about a lot of stuff there, and she's a great person, too. Right? Did you hear that, Cindy? I hope you did. Oh, I hear. Oh, everybody's here. Hey, it's like old home week here. Yeah. So, like I say, you know, I don't want to hold you guys up too much, but you know, like I say, these guys are good, and I'll vouch for that. So, so what I'll do is I'll let you go right now, though, if you want, and you know, and I'll be on there on the 21st for sure. Okay.
We're looking forward to having you guys.
Oh, great. You know, and I think Linda's going to be on too. I think I got to check. Cindy, did you ever hear back from Linda? Oh, great. But like I say, I'll be on too, and yeah, like I say, a lot of stuff's been going on around Iron Island lately. A lot of poltergeist activity, physical stuff that's been going on. So just want to keep it going there, and I hope it keeps on going. And you know, so. And I just talked to somebody today. I was taking bottles back and this place where they take those bottles back, and I talking to the girl over there, and I says, "You look familiar." And she says, "Yeah." And I says, "Have you ever been to Iron Island before?" And she was there twice. So I talked to her about Iron Island too. I'm always running to somebody from the Lovejoy neighborhood there. So.
Let me ask you a question real quick before you buzz off.
Yeah.
What was that place always? What was the place originally? Was it always Iron Island, or you know, has it had other names, other things?
No,
that it was
the Lovejoy. Yeah, it was the Lovejoy Church, and it was a Methodist Episcopal Church, and it was built in 1885. And around the middle 50s, then it was closed, and then we went through 3 different companies for a funeral home. Then they converted it to a funeral home. And
now,
go ahead.
That's the reason right there for activity. You know, having been a funeral home. So
that's why I'm thinking of that. Yeah, we have our little boy. I don't know if Matt's probably told you about Tommy. And we have Edgar, of course.
I heard you guys talking about it here a while ago.
Oh, yeah. He's quite a star over there. And so we have Edgar, too. And Edgar, they'll explain Edgar to you, too, and that. And we have sometimes spirits, you know, moving in and out of there, you know, passing through and that, too. And we've gotten some really fantastic stuff. You know, I could take over your show and be on for a whole hour, but I don't want to do that to you. So, you know.
Well, you're going to do that next week, so we're looking forward to that.
Oh, great! And tell the guys. Well, after probably listening, I said hi, and you know, I'm in your corner, guys. Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Everybody listening in. That's Greg from Iron Island Museum, and you guys all need to go check the place out. And they are having some structural damage problems. If anybody wants to help out with that, I'm sure they would appreciate it. And just go by and say hello and check the place out. I think y'all really enjoy it.
And thank you kindly, too, so I'm going to get it going then. And like I say, you guys have fun, and I'll try to catch you on the podcast, okay?
Okay, Greg, we appreciate you hollering in at us.
Take it easy, Greg.
Okay, you too,
later,
guys.
Bart.
Okay.
We'll see you later,
Bye,
Bart.
guys. Bye.
Yeah, if anybody has time to donate time or any kind of donations, go ahead and get them out there to Iron Island Museum. Got it, finally. Getting back to you, Matt. Okay, now I was watching both on Facebook. No, you don't have it on your website. So on Facebook, I was watching. Mm-hmm. You had just set that ball up there, and no sooner had you turned your back, this flippin' thing comes off. Now, I take it that was that was a Nerf ball. B, it still shouldn't have rolled off like that under ordinary circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like a little, it was sort of like a Nerf ball. It was like a little blow-up ball. I can't explain it. It's sort of like, I don't know. It was just like a little blow-up ball, but it was like, it was somewhat, it wasn't filled, all the way, and it was a little, and it shouldn't have rolled like that, and we just set it down, and like I said, literally like 5 seconds later, I blocked part of it, but we tried to figure it out, because we don't like to put anything out there that, that we at least, can explain. So, we tried everything. I was hitting the table, as you can see on the video, and we were stomping all over,
right.
And, looking like idiots, but we were trying to do as much as we could. I couldn't figure it out, and of course, if there is an explanation, somebody could tell me, I would definitely love to hear it. But it was just something odd, and we thought that we would put it up, and we didn't put it to our website yet because we haven't got a chance to go over everything. And once we go over everything, we like to put up a pretty sizable video like we have in the past. And it was just something I thought, I was excited to share and see what people thought about. So that's why I just put it up in short order like that.
So I'm still seeing, what you all had done. Now, Johnny is the one. No.
Tommy.
Your brother. I saw he was coming at it from one angle, and the thing was I couldn't hear any video, any audio. It looked like you were videotaping what you had on your TV.
Yes.
Is that right? I would have loved to have heard the full audio. What was going on.
Unfortunately, that's like one of the things that is kind of tough because we had, we just got a DVR system, and that's what that was. It was a DVR camera, and there's no audio coming from that. Now we did have audio coming from one of our recorders, but that's why there was no audio, unfortunately. But I can try to see if I can sync it up with the recorder a bit. But yeah, that's basically what it was. We just set it down. And I had heard my brother Brian and our one friend Justin that came with us. They were coming down the hall, so me and Jeff turned to go talk to them, and that's when it happened. So like I said, unfortunately, I wish I was not quite right in the middle of the view, but what are you gonna do? I guess.
Hey, you guys, have you ever had something like where maybe you were entering a room or a hallway or anything like that and have something just like, right in your face? Just like you turn a corner and bam, there it is.
Actually, it's pretty funny that you mentioned that because we've had quite a busy, past week. Saturday we were at Iron Island and Friday we were at Palmyra Museum, and last weekend actually we traveled out to Cincinnati to go to the Saddamsville Rectory. Which, has been on, Ghost Adventures a couple times. It's a pretty well-known place, but, actually we had got there and all of us were walking in and we just opened the door. We all walked in and then we're all like, we're all looking at each other. And I tell you, it was the the strangest feeling. It felt like somebody just punched me in the chest. Like I couldn't breathe, and that's how everybody else felt too. It was like the air was so thick. It was pretty tough.
That's, I've experienced the same thing in a house one time. We got a call to go. These people were claiming, that they had a lot of stuff going on and everything, and so we get over there and, they come to the door like, nothing's wrong or whatever, and they're inviting us in. We walk in the door and bam, it felt like somebody put a vice on my head and just started cranking it,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's how this was. I never experienced anything like it. And, from, Ghost Adventures and a couple other, videos I've seen online, it is said to have, a pretty good negative presence there. And we like to go in and, try to see that for ourselves. But, it is pretty foreboding. As soon as you walk in, we all felt it was unlike anything I've ever felt before in my life.
I have a question, and I've never experienced it in my investigations, but we have someone here in the chat room that's asking, have you ever had a dude run moment while investigating?
Actually, yeah. It was actually the first, pretty much the first time like our whole group had went to investigate someplace, and actually it was at Iron Island Museum. One of our members, one of the members of my group, Pat, who's actually man in the chat room, we were sitting in the one room and we had forgot the speaker, to, hook our spirit box up to. So we asked him to, go grab it. And as he was coming back, you could kind of hear him walking down the hallway, and then he just started sprinting and he barged open the door. And sure enough, he said that, he was walking and he heard footsteps behind him, so he turned around and thought that maybe it was my brother Brian or somebody, and he turned around and no one was there, so he booked it. But that was just that was one of our first times as a group, so we're a little bit more prepared now. But yeah, it was definitely a pretty scary moment for him.
That's one of the why is it that is a very famous sentence, you know what I mean? I actually saw the episode, and everybody uses that now, like, dude, run, And I actually kind of sort of, well, not really a dude run moment, but a dude, what the heck was that moment, We were in, actually, I was doing some EVP in a bedroom. In fact, it was the house that I was talking about earlier. And it was like, I haven't had one of those experiences where it just scared me so bad that I ran out. Mm-hmm. But I was sitting in this bedroom. Of course, it's dark, right? And my eyes were just barely adjusted, so it was still really dark, but not black dark. And all of a sudden, in front of the bedroom window, which had the blinds on it there, of course you could make out the white blinds, right?
Mm-hmm. Those
blinds just disappeared. Something so black that it hid the blinds.
Wow.
And it just like appeared right in front of my face, but I couldn't make out a form, but it just completely covered those blinds. You couldn't see them.
Jeez.
And in the back of my mind, that sentence went through my head, dude, run. But I was like, no, I'm not going to run. It's either going to get me or it's not. So
that would definitely make me sit back and think about it.
It was pretty wild. And of course, I didn't have my camera in there. I just had a recorder, so I didn't get to capture it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had had a camera, it probably wouldn't have showed up.
Ain't that how it goes? But yeah, actually, I also forgot we kind of had, sort of another one of those experiences at the rectory. We were, me and my brother Brian were downstairs, and we were, hooking up our DVR cameras, and Pat and Jeff had went to go upstairs and set one in the room where we were going to set one up. And unfortunately, like I said, they might have had a voice recorder at the time, so hopefully we can catch it. But they were just setting up the DVR camera, which doesn't have any audio, but they, we were watching them the whole time, and they sat down because, they felt like, they felt something in, pretty thick in there, so they sat down to, ask a few questions and see if they could get something, to come out, but, I guess they said they felt like a real thick feeling, and then they asked a question and they heard like a yeah or something like right in their ears, like and they got pretty shook about that. They said that was about enough, and they came downstairs to grab the next camera.
Right, and then you go back and it's like nothing wants to show up for you because you had your chance.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And we learn from every experience we have. So next time, we'll be more prepared for it. So.
Right, and I always try to set up cameras where it covers kind of even in spaces that they don't claim anything's happening, because that's where it's going to happen at. Just because you didn't have a camera there,
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, have you ever experienced like with EVP stuff? Because I got an EVP last weekend. We did a little investigation next town over from me. And one thing that I actually got was the one EVP, and I hear "Be Afraid." And I was just wondering, because everybody else that's listened to this either said they can't hear it, or it sounds like a lamp or a limp or this or that or the other thing. So I'm wondering is there a possibility that this thing can manipulate itself to where, like, I hear one thing and you hear another, or, because I very plainly hear that, so.
I mean, you had, showed it to me, and I could definitely, like, it's one of those things, like, if you say, like, listen to it, you might hear something, but it might be something different, but then once you said, that you heard, be afraid, it did sound like that to me, but I think it's pretty much the same thing with, with pictures. Sometimes you show a picture and like you see, okay, oh, there's clearly a face there, and then somebody might say, oh no, I see a face here. It's kind of like one of those things. I feel like it's just, but once you said, be afraid, it definitely did sound like that to me. It's just sometimes it doesn't sound as clear until somebody, kind of says what they think, and then you can formulate your own opinions from that,
Right. And, but I showed a picture, and Hank has seen it, and you very plainly, CJ has seen it also. We was at a little cemetery way out in the sticks, and it's all grown up and disrespected, and it makes me feel bad. But anyway, we had been looking like at different times outside of the little cemetery here. There's a barbed wire fence that runs on the outside edge of it on the back. And we had looked out there continuously. There's nothing out there. Yeah. And my buddy had took a picture, and in this picture showed up, it looks like a red ruffled dress, and you see like a woman's head tilted down, and almost looks like her hands coming down pulling her skirt, or her skirt, lifting her skirt up, or, the bottom of her dress or whatever. And it's free floating in the air.
Huh. And yeah, I'd love to see that picture.
And everybody that I've showed it to, except for one person, and this one person had to try to disprove it, of course, which, and I have no problem with that. If you can disprove it, that's good. I'll throw it out, no problem. But he was saying, well, it's a camera blur and all this stuff, And if you look at this picture, nothing in this picture is blurred. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, no camera blur.
I mean, you always get people like that. Like you said, I I definitely understand, skeptics. I don't believe everything for, like some things, it takes, a first-hand experience to believe and stuff like that. But, sometimes I feel like it's cool to be skeptical, but a lot of people don't have constructive criticism. They just like to, just say, oh, it's definitely not what you think it is, and some people I think just aren't ready to believe that there could be something out there, but like I said, a lot of people haven't had like first-hand experiences that like I have, or my group has, or you guys have. So, I like to, like I said, we put out that video, especially that ball, and we've had some people who, said it could be this or that. I definitely welcome that with open arms, but sometimes people are just say it just because they don't think it's real or whatever.
When you are reviewing your EVPs, what audio editor are you using? Or do you use one?
Yeah, we use actually I think it's called WaveLab SE, I believe it is. It came with we have a couple of these these Zoom H2 recorders, and they're really nice. I like them a lot for for doing EVP sessions and stuff, because you can adjust the sensitivity, and it just seems to be nice. But they came with these WaveLab softwares, so that's what we use, and it seems to work out really good. And if I hear something, we make sure to clear it with everybody in the group before we put on a video or anything like that. Because there is places where it could be outside noise, or it could be this or that. So we try to take away all of that, and just try to put out the stuff that we feel is 100% credible.
So basically, you're going through. You're going through verifying what you have, only from the standpoint of clarifying what you have, and you're not adding anything to it.
Oh God, no, not at all. I mean, we don't do that at all. I mean, sometimes, like if we put out like an individual individual EVP, which we usually don't do that too often unless it's something really crazy, because we try to make a whole nice video for people to check out. But and then if somebody wants it to be boosted or whatever, wants it to try to be amplified a bit, then we will do that. But no, we don't. It's 100%. Straight from the recorder. It's just we just put it into our computer so it's easier to review it. And isolate segments. But no, we don't do that kind of stuff at all.
So basically, anything that's less than a Class C, you don't even bother with. You don't try to post it.
Oh no, we don't. I mean, anything that's. I mean, we don't put anything that there's any kind of question about. If you're like, you hear footsteps or whatever. Well, we try to take it as best with video as we can and see what it is. But we don't put anything out there that we don't feel is 100% credible. There is a lot of stuff that maybe was real that we threw by the wayside, because it could be one of us whispering, or it could be, us walking around, or, stuff like that. So we really try to go through, as much of a review as we can. Like I said, all of us check out all of our evidence and everything before we put it out. So we really try to put out just the best evidence we can for people.
So just cheering you on with the fact you are re-verifying whatever it is that you post. Major coolness. While I have you, I have another question for you that's come up in chat. Have you ever gotten an EVP that was personal, like saying your name or anything personal?
See, not necessarily an EVP. We have, we've gotten stuff out of the spirit box that, that was personal, that was, said our names and stuff like that, or stuff that, we could relate to. But, not direct to EVPs. No, out of the spirit box, like I said, we got, one of our old members, Pete, we actually got out of the spirit box, like, we want, and then there was a little pause and it said Pete. So, that kind of started a little bit, but we haven't got any, like, actual straight EVPs, that have, mentioned us or something that, relates to us.
That little cemetery I was talking about where we took the pictures at, the second time I was there, it was actually me and another guy there. It was during the daytime, and actually it was kind of just getting dusk, but still kind of a little bit light. But we were just doing some EVP, and we was sitting like over on the base of where one of the tombstones had fallen over, and I was standing in front of a wide, kind of large stone there. And I laid my recorder up there, and I'm just talking, and I was saying how I thought it was sad how, everybody had disrespected this, and let it all grow up like that, and.
Yeah.
I said, if you want, I said we can try to get a message to somebody that y'all are displeased and that, you want them to come out here and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the EVP that came back had nothing to do with what I said at all. It was really weird. But it said, we're coming to get you, Roger.
Huh. Wow.
And yeah, that kind of made the hair on the back of my neck curl and, I wasn't expecting that. Here I am trying to be helpful and respectful, and they're going to come get me. But that was the only one that I've ever had that actually mentioned my name. But, if you got to mention my name, don't do it that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we haven't got anything like that, unfortunately. But as far as like the spirit box goes and stuff, we, a lot of people, have their doubts about the spirit box and stuff. It could be like radio static and stuff like that. But we, our spirit box is actually, we take out the antennas and and so there literally is just almost absolutely no radio interference coming through. And, some people say that, that lessens what you could get, but to us, then what we do get, we feel is, just about 100% credible, because there's nothing coming through, whereas if you did have the antenna in or something like that, there is a lot of extra radio static coming through. And plus we sweep on like just about as fast of a rate as you can, just to eliminate the amount of time that it spends on a station. So we really feel like that gives us a lot of cool things from the Spirit Box.
Now, you have talked about what, like Roger says, we're going to get you. I have always had, in a very calm and friendly way, we know who you are. And I've asked about that, and it's like, they know who the good investigators are, not saying Roger isn't, but those that are trying to help. I have successfully helped quite a few cross over into the light, and that's quite rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And like I said, we try to, every place we go to, we try to be as utmost, as respectful as we can, not only to, the building and the people who, own it or take care of it, but as also the spirits, and we try to be as respectful as we can.
Well, you got to remember, spirits were people too. Like Grant Wilson said on Ghost Hunters, and that's one of the lines that he used to say a lot in the reveals that they did, and I agree. They had lives, they had families, children, jobs, mortgages, the whole 9 yards, they're just not flesh anymore.
Yeah.
So they deserve respect just like you or I would, and they expect it. You can't blame them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was trying to take advantage of that breath that you were taking. What I was trying to also add into this is that with my team, not only is it our mantra, but we are also living it. Ghosts are people too.
Mm-hmm.
They still have memory. They still have, above all, they still have a sense of humor.
Oh yeah. Yep. No,
that is true.
I agree with you. 100%. I mean, like I said, a lot of the places we go to, like especially like Iron Island and stuff, the two main spirits that are there are, Tommy, the little boy, and Edgar. And I believe he was he was in the service and he was in the Marines, and we know from some of the stuff that he used to like to do, when he was alive, and we've gotten a lot of good responses to bringing up like even like old bars that he used to go to, or the fact that he was in the service and asking him questions about it. So I mean that definitely that definitely lends credibility to the fact that these people were they were people. I mean we just try to treat them with respect, just as we would hope that they would treat us.
Roger, we've got a good question, and you and I have been talking about this. And Matt, you're here. Maybe you can throw in some light on this as well. What is the difference between a ghost and a shadow person?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like most of the time a shadow person would either be somebody that, something that might be a negative entity or something that has never roamed the earth, an inhuman sort of thing. Or, I mean, it could, sometimes I believe that it could be, a residual spirit too, I mean, it could be just, something that's going through the same motion. So it's kind of tough for me. I believe that it could be either of those things.
Well, Johnny says, is the shadow person a ghost or an interdimensional being? And he hit on that. That's exactly what I thought, that a shadow person is actually an interdimensional being. They have some way of getting through from their dimension to this one. Whereas the spirit, they do the same thing, except I kind of believe theirs is more of like, this plane to the next plane kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd never considered that. That's a really good possibility.
Roger and I have been working on this, and there seems to be some, I want to say, validity in what I'm trying to get across. I'm Wiccan, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have done a lot of study with astral projection and the various planes of the astral. One of those areas that are advised to avoid are the lower 3 levels, which are the most densest, the most base of all spiritual realms. These, I don't want to say, I don't want to say they're evil, because I've done a lot of study with. I'm a big fan of the Booth brothers, and their paramentaries, and they show the children that are shadow people along the mountain ridges there on Zombie Road.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to the idea, you have ghosts which are earthbound, they are lighter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But and there's a fine line between this. There is those that are earthbound, but they are denser. They have not developed a spiritual sense, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Roger?
Yeah. I was trying to keep from stepping on anybody there. Yeah, Hank and I have talked about this stuff, everything, and actually had some long discussions about, the whole aspect of astral projection and the different areas, and all that. And what we have figured out, at least I think we figured it out, I have been doing this for a long time and just never knew where I was doing it. Okay, didn't know where I was going, didn't know what I did when I got there. All I knew is I came back to myself with a hard jerk, like, bam, you're right away. What the heck just happened? And if I could, I guess, be hypnotized and figure out maybe where I was going, what I was doing, my subconscious, but there's no telling where I might have been. The things I might have seen that I just don't know about. So it's all interesting, but we're going to be coming up on a break here in a minute or two. Anyway, when we get back to this thing after the break, you have anything you want to add on that, Matt? We're all ears, and it's all a learning process. So, any input from anybody in the chat room, Matt, Pat, any of y'all, we're live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York. We're going to take a short break, and we shall return. Don't nobody go away.
You are listening to WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York.
Okay, everybody, we're back, and as I was saying before we took the break there, Matt, if you have any input on the astral projection thing, or maybe Pat or somebody in the chat room wants to pipe in, now's your chance.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I never really had thought about, a lot of that. I'm not too versed in astral projection and stuff, but it does definitely make sense, like, especially what, you said, Hank, about shadow people, and that does definitely give me something to think about, for sure.
Okay, Johnny's saying, when you said that you saw a partial leg, isn't it said that demons cannot manifest completely into a human spirit? That something will be missing from them when they appear. Do you agree with that?
It's hard for me to say. I believe that. I definitely believe that, negative entities, sometimes they might not be able to completely appear, but in our case of seeing, the leg, we saw, for instance, I was in the Dunkirk Lighthouse, and I saw, the leg of somebody walking up the stairs. It seemed like I just caught the tail end of them walking up the stairs. And I feel like that could be, that could be residual. I might have just caught a little bit. But as far as, we saw somebody walking in the Saddamsville Rectory, and, we just caught the tail end of, somebody walking, like I said, the back part of the leg. So, that definitely could be. I definitely feel that there's negative entities there for sure. So, I don't know enough about it yet to come to a conclusion, but,
Right.
So I'm sorry, Roger, go ahead.
I've always heard that, if an entity doesn't have enough energy, it may partially form. It may not be able to completely form, but it's trying to materialize and show you that it's there. So, they drain your batteries and they do all that, and,
When you see now, if I'm understanding what's going on here, you had showed something that you only had the legs of. Am I understanding that correctly?
Now, what I think they might be referring to is we had posted like an update from the Saddamsville Rectory. I think that might be what they were referring to, but it was just when we were setting up, one of our members, Pat, he was walking into where we were setting up, and he had caught the tail end of somebody walking in the hall, like the tail end of a leg. So I believe that might be what they were referring to. But I just posted an update of the video. We weren't able to catch that on camera. It was just while we were setting up. So I think that might be what they're referring to.
What I have found, all right, is that when you're getting a partial apparition, whether you're getting the upper half, lower half, even when we have EVPs, it's depending on how much energy that a spirit will be able to draw from. To us, we may be getting just a, "Hello, can you hear me?" type of whisper, and they may be taking all of their energy and shouting at the top of their lungs. Because to do anything, it requires a tremendous amount of energy from that other side. So, just as an example, we had such a problem with power drain on our equipment. My co-founder, Ed, we found he had the best idea of all. He brought a spare wet cell 12-volt battery with a little light on it. And that saved a lot of our batteries.
Wow, yeah, that's really ingenious. I never really would have thought about that.
Now we also have Johnny coming back. Do you or your group do any sort of spiritual cleansing of yourselves after an investigation or a group prayer?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends. I mean, like I said, as we go along, we're trying to, get more into spiritualism and stuff like that. But if we really feel that, a place we've been, and sometimes, like I said, we should definitely start doing it everywhere we go. But sometimes if we really feel like there, might be some kind of negative presence, we do, all gather together and, say a little prayer and just, and just, mention to whatever's there, that, they're not allowed to follow us home and, to stay where they are, so.
We usually follow up. Well, it's not usual. We do a St. Michael open and close. Now, when you are having negative well, let's just say it. If you're having any negative interferences, do you also use sage or sweetgrass and or a bell?
We have used or have been part to people using sage and stuff in the past, and I do believe that does help remedy whatever is negative that is there, and it's stuff that we're trying to get more versed in stuff like that, and we do want to start using that if need be.
CJ says, what is the scariest thing that Matt has ever witnessed on an investigation?
For me, I mean, at least, see, it's kind of a twofold answer for me. Like, the scariest I've ever, the scariest thing that I've ever felt was, it was actually like the first time I actually investigated. I was with my brother and, my brother Brian and another member of our group, Rob. We were in Gettysburg. It was some years ago, probably about 10 years ago or so. But it was the first time we went out investigating. We went into the park, and we were walking and like I said, it was the first time we ever been out, and I really wasn't able to feel like the thickness in the air and stuff that was going on. But we were walking down a path, and as soon as we crossed some kind of threshold, it was just something just felt like something was right in our face, and it was just the thickest. And of course, it was the first time that we went out, so it was kind of like a dude run moment. We we kind of was like, okay, we'll turn around and head back to the hotel. But actually, to kind of prove what we were feeling, we have an EVP actually that is probably the best EVP we've caught to date. I will put it back up on our, I'm not sure if it's on our YouTube page, but I'll put it back up to our Facebook and our YouTube page if anybody wants to check it out. But it was, an EVP saying something along the lines of like, no one will forget. And that's what a lot of people have thought too, that I've showed them to, that it says something along those lines. So I'll post it for people, and I would love if they could leave their comments on it. And I mean, it is clear as day. It's definitely a Class A EVP, and it was not something that we, heard or was audible to us at the time. But as soon as we got back, I started going over it, and it was really something. It was definitely the first time we ever went out, and it was probably the best EVP I've caught to date.
Okay, if you, and this can kind of go back into the doll thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's something about them dolls. Do you ever use trigger objects like dolls or like teddy bears or something, with recorders in them or anything like that? I would love to have, especially if you're on an investigation where, there's claims of child spirits being involved.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have maybe a doll and a little teddy bear or something, with recorders, and maybe even, if you could put like one of the little mini cameras in them, you know, where it could record and videotape and everything at the same time, I think that'd be really interesting.
No, that would be awesome. For us, mostly, it's, you know, when we go someplace that, you know, like Iron Island, there's child spirits there, and same thing with Palmyra and you know, places like that. We try to, like if we're taking a break or whatever, or if we're switching spots or something like that, we always try to, just like that ball thing we caught at Iron Island, we always try to set up, you know, make sure cameras on it, and we always leave a recorder right next to it, and, you know, we'll usually, you know, sometimes like at Iron Island, there's Tommy's toys are actually there, so I mean, I feel like that would be the best thing to use, you know, because it was something that he did play with, you know, when he was alive, and we always try to do that no matter where we go. If there's, you know, like I said, a child spirit, or, you know, even if there is like, you know, adult spirit, and there's pieces that they have, you know, we try to set it up and allow some time just for it to sit and see what happens, you know, or see what we catch audibly or anything like that.
We use, from time to time, trigger objects, and it depends on where we are. We have a playground at Spanaway Lake Park in Spanaway, Washington. Mm-hmm. And our youngest member, he's like 16. He brings he'll bring cars. He'll bring stuffed animals, stuffed tigers, teddy bear, just something that the children, the spirit children, can relate to. And he not only does EVPs, but he also does rods. And he gets a lot of activity from his trigger objects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, us, I mean, it's the same thing as us. Like, if we're in a location and there might be like 2 or 3 of us and we're not getting much, usually what we'll do is, especially with children spirits, you know, I mean, I feel like, you know, they are more inclined to come out if it's just kind of a one-on-one thing, you know, where they feel less threatened. So we'll always try to send just, you know, one investigator in there for a while and just see, you know, if they're able to get something that we couldn't, you know. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of good evidence with that, you know, with just sending one investigator in. And like I said, I just feel like it'd be easier to communicate. And same with dowsing rods. Like, we were using dowsing rods at Iron Island this last time, and around, you know, Tommy's old toys and stuff, and we did get some really interesting hits on that.
I was gonna say, you know, if you're having good luck with that, you know, I mean, that's good and everything, but as a rule, it's not really wise to send one person by themselves into an area. And I'm sure that you're aware that there's a lot of times when demons will take the form of a child because they know that people are more open to children, so to speak. I
mean, yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you there. Like, really, one of the few places we only do that at is Iron Island, just because, I mean, we've been there a few times, and I mean, there could be a negative entity, like using a child to kind of lure us in a little bit, but we feel that whatever is there is actually, I feel that whatever is there is Tommy. You know, we've got stuff, signaling that it could be, Tommy. So I mean, we feel like it's safe there, but any place, like I said, Saddamsville we went to, and we were in groups of 3 and 2 at least the whole time. We would never send anybody, alone there. But I mean, we've gotten the feel of Iron Island. We've been there, 3 or 4 times. I really feel like whatever is there, especially in that room, it is Tommy, is the spirit of Tommy. And, I don't find it to be too endangering to our members to send us in there, one at a time. I mean, we obviously take the utmost precaution in whatever we do. If we feel like at all there's, there could be something there, we don't try to, we never, very rarely anyway, we split up into, just single groups.
Right. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Johnny wants to know, how do you feel about the ghost shows on TV? Has it passed its prime? what do you think about them?
No, I mean it's a mixed bag. I feel like I do like the shows are cool, and I do think it is awesome. I mean, that's kind of how I first got into it, years ago. I mean, when I was younger and stuff, I didn't really know much about the paranormal and stuff. And then you see these shows, and I mean, and it does bring about some bad things. I mean, sometimes you get a lot of like we were talking about before, you get a lot of thrill seekers, or, you see an episode of Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or any of those shows, and you go out and you assume that you're going to get, everything, and you're going to get all these EVPs and all these apparitions. And I mean, most of the time that's just not true. And then you do get people that go out and do put themselves in danger because, there could be, negative entities around. So I would say that anybody who does see a show like that should, proceed with the utmost of caution and really, only get into it if your heart's really into it,
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and you hit it pretty close on the head there,
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of these younger people, they'll watch Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and the Clean Brothers and all this stuff, and they think because they've watched a couple of episodes of this on TV that they know what they're doing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they'll go out, get them a recorder and a camera and rush right out somewhere, and next thing you know, somebody's got hurt or, something's got damaged or, they're breaking into places just to investigate and never. And that's a standing rule that we have, never, ever go in a place without permission. That's just wrong in so many ways. So,
yeah. Oh, it's the same thing for us, and we always, I mean, we would never, break into some place without permission or, I mean, we always treat places with the utmost of care. And like you said, people do, they go out and like you said, they buy a camcorder or a recorder and go out and they don't realize, like, I think sometimes they think that that the paranormal world is like really simple. Like you go out and you just get all these, all this, and they don't realize that, that you can get negative effects from that. There is negative stuff out there, and not only that, people just don't take caution. I just feel like most people just think it's just so simple to go out, and I mean it is, but they just don't realize all the consequences that could come with it, and there is so many people that go out and they just assume that, they're going to go out and they assume that it's going to be like something out of The Exorcist, where books are flying off shelves and stuff like that. We've been on way more investigations where we didn't get anything than investigations where we got a lot. It's just how it is.
See, that's the thing that I'm trying to get across to even our chat room friend Johnny. I have had producers, because I've put my team out on believe it or not, I put it out on Craigslist just to get the information out there, and I've had a lot of people come back and, well, we need you to do this and we need you to do that, and it's like, look, wait a minute. First off, you can't fake this. If something is real, then it's real. If it isn't, just because you want something to happen and it's going to improve your ratings, that's going to discredit the investigator. That's going to discredit the location. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Another thing, too, to look at is when you do an investigation, all right? You have the spirits that reside there, and a perfect example of that, and I'm not dropping names because I've never been there, Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah.
They've had so many people come in and out and in and out, and what happens? They start getting angry over the fact that you get these people that think they're Elmer Fudd and going to catch that wascally wabbit, okay? And that creates a problem because we as investigators will leave, but the people that are living there or doing business there are the ones that are going to end up suffering. Now, when you're there doing Iron Island Museum, shut up, Roger. When you're not doing anything. You're just collecting evidence. You're not trying to build anything up. You're not trying to take away anything. And I want to tell you, I think you're doing it right.
Well,
if you have evidence, you post it. If you don't, there's nothing to fake.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. And like I said, and a lot of these places, I mean, we obviously are all, completely devoted to the paranormal, but a lot of these places, the history is just cool, and I mean, I feel like, especially with a lot of people, I'm like 25, I'm not a teenager or anything, but I feel like a lot of people that are around my, my age, I feel that they go to these places and people just don't have an appreciation for history or anything like that anymore. And that's what we try to bring. And we try to bring complete respect to the location and the people. And, we go there and just conduct our investigation. Like you said, we don't try to sugarcoat anything. We don't try to put out evidence that we think is not 100% credible, or we don't fake anything. That's just ridiculous. And I feel like there are groups out there that do put out stuff that is not, that is not 100% credible and that is not true. I feel like there's a lot of groups that, fake evidence, and I just don't feel the need to, and we try to build credibility for our group, and we try to, show people that, we respect, that's all it is. It's about para-unity and it's about respect. And unfortunately, there's a lot of individuals and groups that don't always respect locations or don't always respect, the people there. And when we went to the rectory, we did stop at Bobby Mackey's because it's only like 10 minutes away from there. And we did stop there, but even though we weren't able to go inside and check it out, there's a lot of places like that where, you go in, and it's one thing to go in and conduct an investigation, but it's another thing to go in there just provoking and prodding and just trying to bring stuff out that, either isn't there or stuff that, is there, and it just gets angry, or you might be inviting spirits into there that weren't there before, and there's a lot of people that they think that's the way to collect, evidence, and, we just don't feel the same.
Now, here's the thing that I'm going to get for. I asked first. Here's the thing. Okay, even if you're not helping a spirit cross over, you're bringing a memory. You're pardon the expression, okay, but you're keeping them alive. You're not making them jump through hoops. You're providing evidence. Hey, this person lived here.
Yeah.
Show some reverence. Honor them for who they are. If you keep doing that, I think you're going to go far. Now I'm going to turn it over to Roger.
Okay. And well, before that, just to add to that, I thank you for that, and that is what we do. Every place we go, where there is spirits there that people claim. Well, if people can put a name to spirits, basically, we'll put it that way. We always try to treat them with respect, and we always try to, like, for instance, like Edgar at Iron Island, he was in the military, and, even before we go there, we're like, hey, Edgar, are you with us? As soon as we get there, and we say thank you, thank you for your service, thank you for being in the military, and all that, and that's all we do. We go there and we try to show that, there is something there, and there are actual people there, and that's what we try to do. We don't try to, provoke or keep prodding things and make it angry. We just try to go there and have, just as you would sit down with somebody at a coffee shop and have, a conversation with them, that's what we try to do.
What I was gonna say is, as investigators, basically, we do a twofold operation. Mm-hmm. We go in, and now I'm using this on a client-based approach, not like if you just go into a empty building or whatever you're doing, but they contact you because they're afraid or whatever. They have claims of this stuff going on. we go in there to verify their claims. We don't go in there to stir up whatever's there. But now if it turns out that it's, an angry spirit or, demonic or, something, that we know is really causing them, pain and grief, then yeah, if you don't have a demonologist or somebody on your team who can deal with that kind of situation, the second fold of that is to get somebody in there who can help them, disperse whatever it is that's there. We don't go in there to stir them up. We go in there just to prove, that the clients aren't losing their mind, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like what you guys touched base on before, especially places where people reside and people live, a lot of people go in and like you said, they provoke and they prod and then they don't realize that once you go home, that it makes things worse for people, you leave, yeah, you're able to leave and you're able to get away from it, but then the people who do reside there, it does make things worse for them, and that's what we do, we go someplace and, and we try to, either, prove or disprove the fact that, there's something there. And like you said, if there is something there that is negative, that is, that does mean harm or, is really concerning people, then, like I said, we don't have a demonologist or anything like that on our team. But I mean, I can assure anybody who brings us in, we'll go to the ends of the earth to contact somebody who can take take care of that for them.
Bravo, mate. Bravo.
Thank you.
And that's the whole thing. That's the key to it, If you may have a haunting in a place that is not, causing these people any grief, they just want to know that they are witnessing what they're witnessing. Mm-hmm. And you can go in there and provoke them and stir them up, and then when you leave, they might take it out on them like, well, you brought these fools in here, now we're gonna make you pay, so.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, no doubt about that. I mean, it's not, it's not just negative entities that will take it out of the people, just like, me or you, if we were in our house and there was somebody coming in that is bothering us and, and everything like that, we'd be angry too, it's not just negative entities that will do that a lot of times, and that's why we don't try to provoke or we don't try to do anything like that to, worsen what people are experiencing, We just try to just prove that they are experiencing things, and like you said, we'll take it from there, if they don't feel comfortable, we'll find somebody that can help them, even if that can help them further than what we can,
One of my better, shall I say, residential investigations, we had came in, and we were introduced to this by a local psychic, and I said, sure, let's go ahead, let's go, and we'll go ahead and we'll do this investigation and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. We all gather there at the residence, and it's like, oh my God, who opened the circus? Okay? Mm. The idea that I tried to express is we're here to investigate. They go in and they start throwing the salt. They start throwing the incense. They start doing the drumming ceremony. And it's like, wait a minute. How do you know what we're dealing with? Mm-hmm. By the time it was all said and done, aside from the EVP, get these people out of my house, okay? Mm-hmm. We found out that what was there was this lady's deceased husband who was trying to reassure her that everything is working out. He's trying to do what he can from the other side because this beautiful home was going to go into bankruptcy.
Wow.
Okay? And last I heard, things were coming about. Now, granted, this was 3-4 years ago, and I've not heard anything more since. But, again, we are investigators first.
Yeah.
Because you could disturb something that is perfectly natural and is supposed to be there. If you have great Uncle George watching out for you and protecting the house, and okay, it's Uncle George. Major coolness. No one's hurt. You come in, it's Uncle George. Well, we got to get rid of him. And it's like, oh no, you just opened up a Pandora's box.
Well, yeah,
you have to be responsible.
That is what it is, you know. I mean, you don't. That's what we go in someplace and it's kind of a weird analogy, but we just try to be like a fly on the wall. You know, we try to communicate with whatever's there, and then from there we show our evidence, our evidence to the owners of the property, and then we go from there. You know, I mean, if there is a good spirit there, and like you said, you go in, you know, swinging the door open and provoking and just bothering the hell out of it, then, you know, you might not ever really know what's there. You know, I mean, you might get a backlash from it, and then, you know, people assume that, you know, it's something bad. But like you said, if it is somebody that is just there to watch over and protect or to anything like that, you don't want that gone. Like you said, it's not hurting anybody, you know, and I mean, then people would feel reassured that, okay, you know, it is my husband, you know, I mean, that's reassuring.
Hey, Matt, Johnny says, how does your family feel about you paranormal investigating? Are they cool with it, or do they think you're a nut?
No, not at all. Actually, I mean, you know, and not only is it me, but my brother, you know, is in our group too. And, you know, and you know, sometimes my dad, you know, he takes a little bit more to, you know, to believe into that kind of things. But no, they all love, you know, what we do, and they all back us 100%. And, you know, I mean, it would be tough. It would be tough to, you know, to do what we do and not have the backing of our family and stuff. But like, you know, my whole family's just into it as much as we are, and then have been for a long time. So, and I mean, they think it's really awesome.
Well, that's cool. You know, my wife doesn't agree with what I do. But she doesn't prevent me from doing it because she knows that it's something that I really enjoy doing and, you know, I'm into. And, you know, being a Christian person, you know, before I leave, a lot of times if I tell her, you know, hey, I got to go investigate such and such or whatever, you know, she'll hold my hand and pray for me and everything before I leave. And, you know, I think that's a nice gesture. And it's good when you have support. You know, and trust me, this is not an easy task. You know, a lot of people think investigating is an easy job. It's not, you know. I mean, you have a lot of things that you have to look at, like, you know, if your family's against you, they think you're being childish or stupid or you're just crazy or what have you. You know, it makes it hard for you to go out and do your job to the best of your ability.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's like my dad. Like he doesn't like. I mean, he doesn't like 100%, you know, I mean, believe in, you know, what we believe, but it's all support, you know, all he does is support, and, you know, and I mean, he loves the stuff that we get, and I feel like, you know, every time we go someplace, the evidence we catch might be swaying him to our side a little bit, but he supports us more than anything, you know?
That's really awesome, and, you know, you guys do a great job, and I can't, you know, harp on it enough, you know, because, you know, the younger people, like I keep wanting to reiterate on, are just not, you know, they don't care. They just want to go out there and get an EVP or capture an apparition on their camera or whatever, you know, and it rubs me the wrong way. So whenever, you know, I have guys like you come on that are, you know, are really what it's really all about. You know, I feel a sense of pride for you guys. I really do. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you for that. And I totally agree with you. I mean, like, I've seen so many people that, you know, my age, unfortunately, are just in it for the thrill seeking. And, you know, what people don't realize as a paranormal investigator, you know, your first goal is to, you know, help whoever asks for your help. You know, you try to help people. And then secondary, you know, you try to collect cool evidence and you try to do that, but that's your main goal. And you know what I mean? And all we do is just, we try to help people And then second thing is, we try to capture awesome evidence, hopefully that, that people will love to see, and that hopefully, every time we go out and investigate and, we try to help further, the paranormal field a little bit. We try to be as respectful as we can, and like we all, like I said, we all love the history of every location we're at, and then that, that's just awesome. And there's not enough people, in my generation that do that.
That is true. That is so true. And, like you said, the client comes first. And as Hank said, we're investigators first.
Mm-hmm.
And our job when we go in is to reassure them that everything's going to be all right. And then we try to prove their claims or whatever, ease their mind that they're not going nuts. Then, if necessary, we bring in or help them find somebody that can come in and help them with their situation if it's bad. Like he said, it could be Uncle George,
Oh, yeah. And
in that case, we let them know, hey, it's Uncle George. You don't have to worry about anything. He's there to help you guys. So,
and I mean, again, it kind of like shows like the negative side of all of these, all of these paranormal shows that are on TV. People see these shows and they want to go out and they want to, get all this cool stuff, and they don't realize that, you have to, if you're a paranormal investigator or a serious paranormal investigator anyway, your first goal should always be to help anybody who's involved, and then secondary collect cool evidence and stuff. But there's not many groups who do understand that.
That is so true. And, Iron Island, that place sounds awesome, and I would really love to go there.
It is awesome. If you come up here, you better give me a call. We'll go.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to be able to come up there and investigate with you guys. I think that'd be great. Yeah, and I'd be like the grandfather figure in the bunch. But did y'all do Rolling Hills?
Actually, no, we have not yet. We haven't really got a chance. Because it is. Unfortunately, the tough part of being an investigator is the fact that, things do cost, and stuff like that. And, we're a small group, and we try to, just go us five, and some places are a little bit tougher to afford, and stuff like that. So, that's kind of it, but we would love to go there, hopefully soon. And,
okay.
And that's the thing that's important about Paraunity and establishing connections with groups and stuff, is because then you can do all these places that you'd love to do. Like we're hoping in the fall to team up with this group, Paranormal Encounters from Wisconsin, and we're hoping to do Waverly Hills, the sanatorium together.
I have been there. That place is awesome.
Yep.
One of the well, actually, I got two really good EVPs in there. We didn't catch anything visual, but on the fifth floor of that place, there's the story of the nurse that hung herself. I'm sure if you read up on it, you know about. Okay, well, right in that spot where the room is where she supposedly tried to abort her own baby or whatever.
Yeah.
To the pipes out there where she's supposed to have hung herself. We were standing kind of like between where the pipes are and where the doorway to the room is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even remember what I asked now, but the EVP that I got back said, help me walk. Of course, that's a tuberculosis hospital. They did some crazy stuff in the name of science to cure these people. They would remove ribs and whatnot, and so I'm sure it was hard for them to walk, so that kind of validated that EVP for me.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Anytime you can capture an EVP like that just, that's totally, that's totally awesome. That connects with the place.
Down
like
at 502, right. Now in the morgue, they got two of the little freezers that they would push the bodies up in.
Mm-hmm.
I got on the thing and I let this guy push me up in there, and I had my digital recorder with me, of course.
Uh-huh.
I'm laying in there and I'm just looking up at the ceiling, right? And the doors have already been taken off, so they can't shut the door on you anymore. But
yeah,
I wish they could have, but they couldn't. But anyway, I'm laying in there, and I said, is there anybody here with me? And when I played this back later and it was really low, I had to amplify it because you couldn't hardly hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It says plain as the nose on your face, I'm with you.
Wow. That's cool.
And of course, if I'd have heard that out loud when I was in there, I might have hit my head on the ceiling a couple of times trying to get out of there. But, the fact that I played it back later and heard it was better. So.
Well, and that we just got something like that at Sadamsville. And like I said, once we finish going through everything, we'll put up hopefully an awesome video for people to check out. But, we were in the one room in Sadamsville. I mean, and if people are familiar with it, like they call it the creepy room because it's just a weird feeling there and stuff. But we didn't hear it at the time. But going over our all of our evidence and stuff, I asked, I'm like, is anybody here with me? And then clear as day, like it sounds just coming from like the other room. It's like either a child or a woman just says, I'm here. It's kind of like something like that. It's like, wow, that's awesome that you can get like a clear Class A EVP that that's just doing what you asked. It just says I'm here. I just asked if people were there with us.
Right. Now oh, I'm sorry, Hank. I wanted to throw this in real quick while I'm thinking her off.
Throw it in real quick, dude.
We were in the death tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yep.
And about halfway down, because I have artery blockage in my leg, so it's hard for me to walk long distances at a time. So we got about halfway down and sat down. We were just sitting there doing EVP and stuff like that, and snapping pictures off, in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, we didn't see nothing in pictures. But I kept hearing this heel to toe like boots coming from the far end up towards us. And the guy there with me, and I won't mention any names, but the guy there with me was saying, oh no, I've worked in concrete a lot. That's the concrete settling. I'm sorry, but when they redone that concrete, that was many moons ago. It's solid as a rock. It ain't gonna give.
Yeah, that concrete's probably older than him.
It was a definite heel to toe, like curve clump, curve clump, curve clump.
Yeah.
And the recorders didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying about how sometimes, you may hear something or see something and the camera's not going to show it and your recorder's not going to show it.
And in response to that, like I said, ironically, it was just Saturday. We were at Iron Island and we were sitting around, it was towards the end of our investigation, just kind of talking a little bit, and we heard, like, all of us heard it clear as day, like it sounded like a woman screaming, and I haven't been able to put it to my computer yet and really listen to it, but we played it back on our recorder and, we couldn't hear anything, but we clear as day heard it.
Right. Hank, go ahead, man.
Okay, bro. Topping off on your heel-toe footsteps. I have had that only once. I was in a cemetery in Roy, Washington, and it was the first time I was there. And I heard, and you can tell these were boots, the way they had crunched in the gravel.
Right.
But I didn't get it in my EVPs. Someone coined the phrase, I can't remember what it is, but when it's not an EVP, electronic voice phenomena, you have a real-time event.
Out-of-body experience.
That doesn't necessarily...
Or out-of-body phenomenon or whatever, or voice out-of-body sound, whatever. You heard it out loud, but you didn't get it on your recorder.
Right. And going back to other questions about losing recordings. If you're hearing it and it's not being recorded, that's not saying that you don't have something. It just wasn't able to be caught on the recorder. And to repeat for Johnny, electronic voice phenomena, when your recorder, whether it's a tape like they used to use before they had this wonderful invention called digital, you still get a the spiritual energy interacts with the electronics, which is one of the reasons why a digital recorder is so much better. Not saying anything against a tape. It's just they're getting behind the times now.
Kind of like cassettes and CDs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny says, Matt, what's your bucket list to investigate?
Well, first, before I touch on that, I just wanted to say, in response to your story, Hank, do you maybe think that could have been the dirt settling? No, I'm just joking. But,
and that's exactly why I brought it up.
Good one.
But yeah, in response to, to Johnny's question, I mean, like, I've been fortunate enough where a couple of places on my list have been, crossed off already. I mean, one of them was, Saddamsville Rectory, and we were just able to go there, and we hope to go back there in the fall. But Waverly Hills Sanatorium, that's, I mean, right up there on my list. And, like I said, hopefully, we might be able to go there in the fall. And then, of course, some other ones would be the Stanley Hotel. That would be cool. Winchester Mystery House. I mean, that would just be insane, I mean, I mean, that would be so cool to investigate there. I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, Sloss Furnace. I mean, there's so many places I would love to check out. It's kind of tough to, to just formulate a list. But I mean, like I said, fortunately, I mean, I'm as much of a paranormal fan as I am a paranormal investigator, so I mean, it's really cool to be able to go to all these places that that I've hoped, or that I, since I was young, watching, Ghost Hunters or whatever that I've hoped to go to. So, I mean, it is really awesome.
See, the thing is, I'm kind of jealous of you guys.
Mm.
You've got all the neat and cool places, and Roger's going to be able to join you a lot quicker than I can. I'm here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to be relishing my experiences and sharing them with you. And you guys are going to wish you were here.
I mean, we are pretty fortunate when you do think about it. I mean, there's a lot of cool places near us that it doesn't take too far to, to get to. So it is kind of nice.
Yeah, you just have the better ones. That's all.
I don't know about that.
Well, I would love to go back to Waverly. Now, would I be able to afford to do that when you guys go? Don't know yet. If possible, yeah, I'd like to meet up with you guys over there. I think it'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'll definitely let you know when we do go. But, yeah, I mean, that is unfortunately the thing that is tough is, it does cost money to check out these awesome places. So, it is tough sometimes.
Well, see, I'm disabled, so I draw this little check that the government thinks is supposed to give me enough to live on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it makes it a little bit rough sometimes, but
yeah.
That I would love to go with you guys up there, and I could actually show you. There's one room up. I think it's on the 4th floor, if I'm not mistaken. We were in a room, and one of the guys actually told us about it. And there's a picture in the closet, still in a frame, sitting on a shelf, of the woman that occupied that room.
Okay.
And we were sitting in there, and I asked the question, do you mind us being in your room? The response I got sound like a male voice, and it was a moan like you would hear in some kind of horror movie, or one of the cartoon things or something, And, I mean, it was pretty low. I amplified it a little bit, but man, it's like, oh, or something like that, Yeah, it was pretty freaky, but
if we go there, believe me, you'd be more than welcome. I'll let you know for sure.
And of course, I wanted to go all the way down the death tunnel, but I couldn't make it. Maybe by then I will have had my surgery and I'll be able to walk. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would love to. It'd be a privilege to investigate with you there. That'd be awesome.
The honor would be all mine. You guys do a terrific job.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. I thought Hank was wanting to say something, but I guess,
No, I had made a comment and I misunderstood what was being. I had posted an advertisement of Matt and Patrick being here and all that, and someone said, I take it that was Patrick gets in the chat room using your name, and he's saying, I hear you. And I thought he was talking about the fact that I had posted everything there, and then come to find out it was in response to another friend, Dita, who was talking about her experiences at the Stanley, and I was making apologies for that. So that's where the signal got confused there.
She's telling you don't steal her thunder.
Yeah, I know that's my Dita. What can I say? She's out there by you, only in the on the Canadian side in Ontario.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we would love to get up to Canada one of these days and check out a couple places too.
I'd like to get up there by where CJ and all y'all are, because she's mentioned a couple of interesting places to me that I'd love to go to.
Oh, I mean, there really is. There's a lot of awesome places, like you said. I mean, before Rolling Hills, we have Old Fort Niagara. That's right by where she lives, and I'm only.
And that's the one on the ocean, right, or on the river? Or
yeah, it's right on Lake Ontario there. Yep.
Yes.
It is awesome. We would love to get there one of these days. I would love to go there.
And being a paranormal investigator really is a good feeling. You're helping people, especially if you're doing it right. But it would be a lot more fun if money were no object for travel.
Isn't that right? I was just talking to my group when we were coming back from Iron Island the other day, and I said, you know what? I wish sometimes that I wish sometimes that money was no object, because I would be flying to the other side of the U.S. like.
Amen, brother.
It would be so awesome if money were no object. That's for sure.
Or cruise, or just go ahead and get in an RV.
Right.
With your team,
right?
And just cruise through the different places here in the United States.
Oh man, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. I mean, I've talked
Canada too, and batteries, Johnny, and
batteries.
batteries.
What we would have to do though is we'd have to take the RV. We would have to go to Washington, pick you up, then go pick up Matt and his guys and the rest of your team, and then CJ and anybody else that wanted to go along, we'd just fill this bus up, and we just go coast to coast, like the radio show.
Oh yeah, I mean that would be awesome. That would be awesome. We've even gotten like I said, one group that we contacted us was saying that they were doing the Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa, and I mean that's one of the places I've always wanted to go, and my group would love to go there, but it's that's a 15-hour drive from where I'm at. It's just so tough to fit that. Fit that in with unfortunately jobs and money and everything.
Well, see, I want to go to Pennhurst and Trans-Allegheny and Eastern State and what's the one, Moundsville? I mean, numerous places I want to go.
There's so many places that oh man, there's so many. I mean, even on our way back from Cincinnati, we stopped by Mansfield Reformatory. I mean, there's so many places that would just be awesome to check out.
Okay. Moundsville would be great. Eastern State. Pennhurst is like at the top of my bucket list. I so bad want to go there. And there's one in Illinois. It's not, I'm drawing a blank now. It's the Asylum for the Incurable Insane.
Okay.
And, what is the name of that dadgum town? I want to,
trying to think.
It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't pull it up there, but, Bartonville, Illinois.
Okay.
And that one is actually not that far. It's maybe about 6 hours from me.
Mm-hmm.
And the price is not that bad. I have talked with the people there. I think it's like $100 a head, but you don't have to buy insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's one of the things that Trans Allegheny does. They charge you through the nose for insurance and all kind of other crap, you know.
That's why I said that's why it's so tough to do these places, because it's like, you know, you want to go just yourselves, or I mean, even if you team up with another group, I mean, it is expensive, you know, and I mean, it's tough because there are so many places I would love to check out, but I'd have to save up for months to be able to check out, you know.
Right, and it is sad because, you know, I think that some of these places really do take advantage.
Well, and I mean that's what I was gonna say, and I hate to paint, you know, a false picture of any place like that, but there is places where it's like, you know, I mean, there is places where it seems like you can separate for the people who, you know, there's so many places that are reasonable, that are awesome to go to, and then there is places where it seems like, you know, sometimes they might use it as a little bit of a piggy bank sometimes, you know, and it is unfortunate. And I mean,
Right.
there's so many places where you go, and I mean, not only do you have to pay through the nose, but then you don't see any real, like, any improvements to the structure or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sometimes you wonder where all of your money goes. And that's why, again, we love Iron Island and Palmyra and stuff like that. Cause I mean, it is super reasonable. And I mean, you can really tell that they do a lot of work to the place to keep it up.
You're looking at what, you know, places you would like to do and like to go. The Ghost Adventure Crew, not dropping names, did some place, asylum, something or other, that half of it is an asylum and the other half is still a functioning nursing home.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. I can't think of what the name of it.
That's one that I would like to get to.
I definitely remember that.
There was another one that just slipped my mind because I'm also trying to get Johnny's questioning here. What's Matt's favorite movie that had a ghost theme?
I'd have to say my favorite movie that had a ghost theme would probably have to be The Conjuring. I loved it when it came out, and I mean, you know, and I mean,
Yes.
it's based on true story, you know, I mean, I know that some of it is obviously tweaked for Hollywood and stuff like that, but I find it to be a cool story, not only about how everything, it's like kind of like embodies the life of a paranormal investigator. I mean, not only is there crazy stuff going on, but at the end there is a resolution for the person. So I mean, it is really an awesome movie. And that's probably my favorite, yeah.
We're going to be getting close to winding down here in a few minutes, so I wanted to tell you, if you want to get your links out there to people, go ahead and do that, and also you can post them in the chat room there, and get them out to everybody.
Okay, yeah. If you'd like to check us out, you can check us out at on Facebook. We're facebook.com/Niagara Para, or if you want to check out our YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/Niagara Para. You can check us out on our website. It's niagaraparanormal.com. And if you are somebody who is looking to maybe have us, check out your property or home, we don't limit ourselves in New York. I mean, if need be, we'll go to, Pennsylvania, Ohio, wherever we, have to go to help somebody. And, on our website, there is a page that says, request an investigation, and you can just write something there, and we'll, get back to you as soon as we can. Or we're also at, niagarapara@gmail.com. So you could also get a hold of us that way.
Well, I want to say that, this has been a real honor for us. Hank and I both think that you guys are just fabulous.
I'm sorry. I forgot one thing I just wanted to throw out there. If anybody is in the area, we're going to Paranormal SuperCon. It's in I think it's next weekend, it's in Erie, Pennsylvania. So if anybody's in the area, and we'll have a table there. So if you'd like to check us out, that'd be awesome.
Hank,
Cool.
Go ahead.
Cool. And again, for myself, I want to thank you. I have enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed your web page, and it's good to know that you follow the same philosophies that a lot of, like Roger and I, we have a set of rules, a set of ethics that we follow to help people, or just to do an investigation to answer our own questions.
Yep.
And that means a lot to us.
Well, thank you. It's really an honor, to hear from you guys that, you approve of the way we're doing things. It's really, I mean, that's what we try to do. We try to respect everybody that's come before us and has laid out these guidelines that every group should follow, and we really try to, treat people and locations with the utmost respect. So it really means a lot coming from you guys.
Well,
and not,
go ahead, Hank. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, dude. Anyway, what I started to say, and not only are you following ideas of what para-unity is, where if one team can't handle, you can reach out to another team, and can you cover this area, or even how do you handle this situation? That's what para-unity is. Not taking over someone's territory, not stepping on toes. It's sharing.
Oh yeah, I know. We totally agree. I mean, we're friends with many groups across the country, and I mean, if somebody does get a hold of us, and maybe we might not be able to make it out, I mean, we know a lot of groups that follow the same ideology as we have, and we feel more than comfortable, handing a request for an investigation off to, these groups that we do, network with.
Okay, we're fixing to have to shut this thing down, but you guys have been awesome, and I'd love to have you back again sometime.
It would be an honor. I'll call in next week when Iron Island's on for sure.
Yeah, do that. We'd love to have you come in, and we're all about supporting the unity, and so yeah, if you want to come in and help support Iron Island, that'd be great. That'd be super great. For myself, all the listeners out there, I appreciate everybody coming in and tuning in and listening to us. Hank, you got any ending statements there, my friend?
Just our favorite. If you can't be normal, be paranormal.
Yep. All right, we'll see everybody next Monday night. Iron Island will be here. Iron Island Museum, and my host buddy there, Hank, he has a wonderful infomercial for them, and you guys should check it out. It's great. We'll see y'all next week.
Brightest blessings all. You are listening to WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York.